to the worst reviews ever. I'm stumbling over here. Start drinking early. But all right, I got Casey Fred in here. Got Amazing. And we got the man of genius again driving in his car. Speeding. So before we jump into the reviews, man, how's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, man. All right. See, Amazing still festive down there. Got the Christmas stuff up.
I almost showed you my other tree, one of my other trees, but it was too much moving, so I decided to stay put for now.
Yeah, I can't wait till you get out of these holiday phases. You taking up like half my garage with your ornaments and accessories and stuff. But all right, we'll go ahead and jump into the slides, the summary. So let me pull that up. So give me 1 second. Gotta make my screen bigger, and I'll go ahead and read this out. So all right, the Knights of the Zodiac, known in Japan as Saint Seiya, the beginning, is a 2023 fantasy action film directed by Tomek Bagzinski. I know I'm butchering this. From a screenplay by Josh Campbell, Matt Sucken, and Kel Murray, based on the manga Saint Seiya by Masai Kurumada. Seiya Maku, a headstrong street teen, spends his time fighting for cash while he searches for his abducted sister. When one of his fights unwillingly taps into his mystical powers he never knew he had, Seiya finds himself thrust into a world of warning saints, ancient magical training, and reincarnated goddess who needs his protection. So, all right, we'll go ahead and jump into the next slide, the directors and producers. So, all right, directed by, we have Tomek Bagzinski. My bad. I done gave my man a whole different name. He's probably going to feel free to comment in and cuss me out. Yeah. All right, screenplay by Josh Campbell, Matt Stucken, and Kel Murray. Produced by Yoshi Izawa. Damn, I'm butchering it. Joseph Chow and Tim Kwok. Apologize for the names. So, all right. As always, the main part. We jump into it. Oh, never mind. I thought it was the next slide. So, cast. Mackin you as Seiya, the Pegasus Knight. Famke Janssen as Vander Garrod, whatever. And she's been in a lot of movies. She was in X-Men. She was Jean Grey, so very famous. What else was she in? I seen, man, but she always plays like those typical like crazy people roles and stuff. So she be knocking that out. All right, so we got Madison Eisman as Sienna Athena, Diego Tanako as Nero the Phoenix Knight, Mark Dascos as Mylok, Nick Stahl as Cassios, John Bean as Alman Keto. That was our man on Game of the Thrones. I don't know if y'all remember him on there.
Yep.
Caitlin Hudson as Marin the Eagle Knight, TJ Storm as Doctors, and David Torak as Jackie the Beast. And let me go ahead and get to the rating slide. And we'll start with Manic first. So Manic, what was your rating on this movie?
I'm gonna have to go with a solid 5.5.
So all right, you gave it a 5.5. You got it in average territory. Amazing. What was your rating for this movie?
I was gonna give it a 7. I thought it was pretty good.
All right, Casey Fred. So a 7, my bad. That's right between good and very good. So you threw me off with that one. All right, Casey Fred. what was your rating for this movie?
I gave you like a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. So you got it in good territory. And I gave this one 1.8. So I'm down there in the got it down in the trash territory. So who's the outliers? Me and Amazing. So Amazing, you want to go first, or your why you rated it as 7?
I kind of want to change my score so I don't have to be an outlier.
Now you gotta go. You're the outlier. Me and you. I'll go after you.
I liked it. Well, this isn't my like norm type of movie. I guess I don't know what it's honestly considered. Is it like action? Fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, like action fantasy.
Um, but anyhow, I like the storyline because I like when it is just like the fantasy storyline, so it's not people doing things that are unbelievable, where it's like the reincarnated goddess. I guess the one thing that I guess always kind of throws me off in these movies is I feel like there's some background that I'm probably missing. So to me, it's just like a singular movie that I watch, but I feel like there probably is some sort of background, whether it be linked, and you guys can probably obviously correct me, but if it's linked to like some storyline or a comic book or some of those little like action figure cartoons or something, I just felt like it's probably linked to something that I have no clue about. So to me, it was just like a singular movie that's probably going to have a sequel. But I just like the whole storyline of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that you actually rated it that high, because typically you'll get into these movies too much.
Well, I like the storyline as far as Athena and then Saya. Was that his name?
Yeah, Saya.
Okay.
Yes.
So I like the story.
Saya.
So I like the storyline between them, but I also liked how it kind of brought in the parents' little drama and the mom and everything. So I just felt like there was more of a storyline than some of the action movies that are popular.
Okay. Before I give my breakdown, it was good, CLS. So what would you rate this movie if you had to rate it?
5. Average.
All right, so you gave it a decent and average, right in between.
It's average, bro. It's average.
I gave it a 1.5.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool too. I actually don't have a problem with that.
You know.
No, I do not. I do not.
But all right, let me go ahead and get my breakdown why I rated it a 1.5. I've seen X-rated movies with better plots. I thought the storyline was like terrible. I know it came from like a animation type movie or cartoon.
Yeah.
I think they should have left it there because I think they had to cram too much in the storyline, and it just gave me too much. What was the one TV show back in the day? The Power Rangers.
Yep, dude. I swear to God, I was gonna say that, yo. I promise you, I was gonna say that same shit about the Power Rangers.
It just had too much Power Ranger vibes. Like the costumes just look cheesy and shit.
Yeah.
They didn't like. I wish they would have focused more on the martial arts, where they would have done some of that, and like did a better job on the costumes, man. I think them little cloth ones that they wore in the Power Rangers was better than that. So yeah, it's just. I think they rushed the storyline just to try to cram everything in, and like what Amazing was saying, like they're definitely was trying to set up a sequel, but yeah, they botched that. So
Corey I will not be there. They can make one if they want to. I won't be there. I won't be there to watch it.
You ain't gonna watch the sequel?
I
think you should.
That ending was some bullshit too.
So let me go around and get everybody's like why they rated it. So Casey, Fred, why'd you give it what was your rating again? As a 6?
6.5.
6.5?
Yeah.
Why were you drinking with Amazing?
I actually had Street Fighter vibes at the beginning of it. So that's why I was all interested in it and stuff, especially with the octagon and everything. And then it just took a twist when it all of a sudden started going into the the gods and the goddess and all this other stuff. And okay, I was intrigued because I wanted to see where it was going, and then he had to have training, and so I don't know. It was just like it was interesting. At least it kept my interest, and I'm an action junkie anyway, so there was enough action to keep me interested. And then of course, I kind of like what Amazing said. It seemed like you could see, even though he's supposed to be here as protector, you could see that they kind of liked each other and stuff. And I was seeing if that was going to develop, and then the other thing is I really was trying to figure out where his sister was and what happened to her. And the sequel, if there was going to be a sequel, is where is she and are you still looking for her? So that's kind of like where I was. And so I thought it was cool. I mean, it wasn't a movie I'll be going to the movie theater to go see. But being that, you know, it was on Netflix and stuff, and they had a Netflix budget, that was so obvious. I thought it was okay. It was good enough. So that's where I put it at 6.5.
Okay. The Man of Genius. Why did you rate it? You was a 5 again, right?
I was a 5.5, but
Okay.
I was being nice, honestly. Even I had the same sentiment as far as the. I think the plot was actually okay. The storyline was just terrible, though. It was way too choppy. They tried to cram a lot of information in, and matter of fact, I don't even think there was a lot of information they were trying to cram in. It just seemed like they were cramming in irrelevant information to, you know, the overall theme, and they just wanted you to just go with it. Like, they start off telling some, you know, BS story of gods fighting, and then there's knights that are protecting them, and then it just drops straight into the movie, and then it's just like this dude's fighting. You don't even know that he's fighting for money, because it's not like they say, "Oh man, a one-liner," and it would just signify like, "Hey, he's fighting for cash. That's the reason." But you know, they didn't even think to do that. They were just like, "Okay, we're just gonna let you assume." So there was a lot of parts that were just very unclear. I think there's a motherfucker in my parking spot.
All right, CLS. Well, I'll let you get to the why'd you rate it, what you did at that point.
I just thought it was just okay. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't really that great either. Same thing everyone was saying, like Fred, amazing. Well, I didn't hear what Amazing said, but I'm assuming she said something similar to what Fred and Manic said. As far as like the whole storyline being choppy and all that good stuff. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't hard to follow, but I wasn't really into the whole goddess of war thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would have seen other movies that were kind of similar to that one. As far as like with the whole, I don't know, gods and kings and knights protecting the, I don't know.
Goddesses.
Huh?
Gods, goddesses.
Yeah,
knights.
The goddesses and all. Kind of like, I mean, what was that movie? Clash of the Titans? What was it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was like, Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans. And same thing with the whole Power Ranger thing. That's the feeling I got. Remember, what scene was it? Well, kind of at the beginning, you know, like the opening scene where they're fighting in the ring, and it was kind of like MMA style type stuff. But then next thing you know, what I'm saying, they're like, I don't know. It was like the scenes were like sped up. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they were fighting and everything. It kind of reminded me of the Power Rangers. It really did. Like the movement and everything, and then everything that came later when they started flying through the air, and then the suit coming onto their body and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because I like what Frederick was saying, because, man, at first I was like, I did like the God elements if they would have tied it in better, but I like the fighting scene from the jump. So I was like, okay, man, you know, they're going to have some fighting, but after that, yeah, they got too, like...
If we were like 12 or 13, this movie would have been the shit.
Yeah, if I never saw Power Rangers and shit, maybe this would have been all right, but
12,
yeah.
13 years old, like, if I showed this to my kids, they would probably think this was like the greatest movie on earth. He was like, "Oh, this movie's dope." They're probably watching it like 100 times a day. But yeah, we're too old.
Especially if it was animated.
Yeah, it's animated too, right?
Yeah, because the animated storyline seems like it was a lot better, because I was checking it out. But I just think I think like somewhat of comic book movies are tricky to capture anyways. You know, especially if it like this storyline, it seemed like it was just too much special effects that they would need, and they didn't have the budget to match. Or you know, like X-Men and stuff like that. I think they have like simpler characters that they could, you know, better storylines around the characters. So yeah, I think this one is probably where they kind of lost some of that.
Did we start talking about the actors yet that was in the movie?
Oh, let me go back to that. I'll pull it back up for you.
Oh, okay, I don't know if we got.
I
don't know if I missed it yet.
So yeah, we just went through real quick. So I did point out, what's her name? What's it? Famke Janssen?
Yeah, Famke Janssen. You pointed out, right?
What else was she in? I know X-Men. She was like
she was in X-Men. She was Jean Grey. Jean Grey in X-Men films. She was Jean Grey. She was in Nip Tuck. There was a TV show called Nip Tuck. I don't know if you guys watched it. She was on that. She was on that show. And you ever see the Taken movies with Liam Neeson? Remember,
Oh, okay.
she was
That's
his
what I
wife.
was.
His wife. Remember, she was in all three
Yeah.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah, she was kind of whiny in that movie.
she was his wife. And besides that, the only movie I've seen her in after that one, I think, was Hansel and Gretel. That's the one with Jeremy Renner. Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
ever see that one? It's like kind of like an action kind of movie. I liked it. She was in that one too. And and the dude, I was excited to see him because I've been watching this dude since like the early 90s. The dude that played was it Mylock?
Yes.
Mark what's it there? The Costco's?
Yeah.
Which one was that again? I can't remember his character.
He was the dude that was flying the plane, the one that was flying at that helicopter plane or whatever. What do you call it? Helicopter?
Oh,
Whatever,
he was in John Wick too.
Yeah, he was exactly. He was in Chapter 3, John Wick.
Yeah.
No, but I can take you back, bro, to like 1993. He was in a movie called Only the Strong. You ever see that shit?
Oh yeah, he was
Only
in
the
it.
Strong. Man,
Yeah.
that was the shit. Because he's always done like martial arts films. You know what I mean? Every movie that he's in, it's like an action martial arts type thing or whatever. It's always has that fighting element. So he fights in every movie that he's in. Because I guess his background too. Dude got like 4 black belts. So
No, that's why I was
He can
kind of
fight, bro.
disappointed because man, they had a good cast, man. Because even that
Yeah.
guy Diego, man, he's in a show on Netflix. I'll be watching. It's on the block, so they had some good actors. Because even
he was
the main character, Saya, whatever,
yeah.
his dad is a real big like actor, martial artist. I forgot his name.
Mhm.
I have to look it up. But yeah, his dad's like real famous martial artist. Let me look his name up real quick.
Oh yeah.
But
You ever see Cradle to the Grave? Remember he was in Cradle to the Grave too with DMX.
Mm.
which one?
Mark. Well, the dude that played Mylock. The same guy.
Oh,
I was
okay,
talking
that's
about.
right. Yeah, he was. That's right.
He was. Remember when they had those? That was the one when they had those black stones, kind of like black stones or diamonds or whatever. Then come to find out they were using it for some kind of like nuclear type weapon. Remember?
Yeah, because that's right. He was on there.
Yep. Yeah.
So anybody else you recognize?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, Sean Bean. I was telling him like he was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. There's a few faces on there I kind of I don't know, look familiar, but not really. Probably seen, maybe a TV show or a film like here and there, but not really. The dude, I guess the guy who played the father, he looked familiar. Like I might have seen him or something, but can't really put my finger on it right now though. He looked familiar though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, let me go to the main questions. Let me go back to that slide. So all right, I'll go around. Would you recommend this movie to anyone? And I'll go to Fred first.
I mean, I would because it's as long as it was on Netflix, and it's free.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
It's like
Amazing.
I said, they had
Would you-
action in it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, just because it had action in it. So I mean,
Mhm.
like I said, yeah.
All right, amazing. Would you recommend this movie to anyone?
Yes, I actually felt like this would be a good movie theater movie.
You must not have been in movies in a while. I neglected you.
This has been a while. Yeah.
I think Manning's out, so I'll skip over him. I'll go to you, CLS. Would you recommend this movie to anyone?
Yeah, I'd probably watch it with my kids. Trust me, if they can watch, if we sit there and watch like binge watch Cobra Kai, if they can watch that, then they can watch this movie.
I'm kind of almost interested, like you said, watch it with them and see what their take is on it. I would like to see that.
They will, bro. You ever watch Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If they can, if they're mature enough to watch that and get through that or whatever, yeah, they can watch this too. Yeah, pretty much. But,
Cool.
yeah.
The one guy I was going to, his son is the main character, Sonny Chiba. That's his father. So yeah, I couldn't remember his name at first, but it just came to me on that.
Yeah.
All right. So second question, would you ever watch this movie again? And I'll start with you on the CLS.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I'm hanging out with someone who hasn't seen it, and I guess they're on Netflix, just kind of like just browsing through the movies and trying to find something new to watch, and they come across this film and like, yo, let's check this one out. Yeah, I would sit there and watch it again. I guess, kind of. Not sure I'm not gonna be into it, but yeah, I'd watch it again. I would watch it again. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Amazing?
Yes, I would.
Casey, Fred, you'll watch this again?
As long as it's on Netflix and it's free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I forgot to answer the first one. I would have recommended and I wouldn't watch it. So, So, all right, what did you think about the plot of the storyline? I'll start with you first. Amazing.
I mean, like I said, I liked it, but now I had said in the very beginning that I thought like it was probably connected to something that just I wasn't familiar with. But now listening to you guys, maybe it was not, and it was just the way the movie was choppy, like Manic said. I don't know, but regardless of the facts, I thought it was a pretty good movie. So I like the storyline and plot again for a fantasy fiction. I thought it was good. I prefer the real people, like when I'm watching a movie, watching real people versus like cartoon animated stuff. Which is kind of why I'm surprised other people rated it low, because I mean I've seen like I don't know, I feel like I see a lot of guys like talk about like these cartoon type movies and or like shows, and I'm always confused on what is so good about those.
It sounds like you're kind of throwing some shots, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I just say
My headphones ain't telling me. It sounds like some shots are getting thrown over there.
No, it just surprised me because I feel like it was like that type of show. It was just like real life. It was just made with real people versus animation. So
do you think like you threw some shots because you rated a shitty movie pretty high? You think that's and you're starting to find out that maybe your rating wasn't justified?
What was that rating?
I feel like you're more
You
of a
put a
hypocrite.
7 or something.
Is that 7.5?
No, see, it was 7, right?
7. Yes, 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the highest. I was being nice. I just
But
So
I
CLS,
liked
did you-
earlier when you just agreed with me. Just stick with that in life, and you'll be good.
So CLS, did you agree with her rating?
no.
Yeah, he was like, I agree with you. I agree
no.
with amazing.
No, I'm right. I'm in the middle. I'm right in the middle. Right down
I know,
to 5. I'm like a not a 5.5. I'm just a solid 5. That's it. Just right in the middle.
I know, but when you were giving commentary, you was like, I agree with amazing and stuff, and just stick with that. It usually,
Well, like I said, I didn't hear. I was assuming you said something similar to what Manic and Fred said. I heard everything they said, but just kind of jumped on a few seconds late. I'm just assuming you guys were on the same page. That's all. But from the looks of it, probably not.
All right, Casey, Fred, what did you think about the plot or the storyline?
Like I said, I enjoyed the action, but as far as the character development and stuff, I think I felt like that's where it kind of lost me. And like I said, the whole essence was for him to be able to be this night warrior and to be able to protect the goddess of war. So he had to go through this training, and he does all of that, and he's successful and he succeeds. But then at the very end, it just kind of like, okay, so he saves her and he does protect her at the end. Mm-hmm. But it just seemed like the ending was kind of flat to me. So I was just like, if you were setting it up for the very end, I was kind of expecting maybe they needed to have kind of like the way they do all the other action movies, like in-game or whatever, and have something after the credits or something to kind of like help us to be able to understand where you were going with it. And it just kind of like fell off at the end. So that's the only problem that I had as far as what the storyline. I mean, it was a good build up, especially because it all started with him searching for his sister, and that was where it all started. And so, and you learn about him, and he wants to be able to be this guy, but he doesn't know how, and so he gets the training he needs to be that guy. But then it just, like I said, it just fell off at the end, and I was just trying to figure out what these guys were really doing. I think I'm kind of in agreement with what you were talking about, Jerk, that the animated probably was way better than this. And I don't know why, but if you guys remember, it kind of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z, the animated is so much way better than when they tried to bring it to life. And it just kind of, I was so glad this was on Netflix because I hate to say this, but I probably would ask for my money back, you know, if I saw this at the movie theater because it just
You wouldn't
didn't.
have got it.
Huh? You
And saying
don't
you wouldn't have
think
got
I
it
would
back.
have
No, you wouldn't. They'd have looked at you and started laughing. It was like too late, Negro. You already paid for it.
They're like, got him. The trailer.
They were like, got him, got him.
I would have been like, well, you owe me some extra nachos or something. But anyway, I just,
Yeah, right. You
but
need
yeah,
some extra popcorn or something.
climax was flat. So that's where I was at with it, though.
All right. So CLS, what did you think about the plot or the storyline?
Yeah, I mean, it was just okay. You know what I mean? I feel like the story's been told before. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're already kind of familiar with it because you've seen it in other movies or I guess like animated series or whatever. I mean, I felt like I felt like I heard the story before. You know what I mean? Just a little played out. You know what I mean? It was like nothing. Wasn't really much to get excited about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't. I'll go ahead and jump on it real quick. I didn't mind the storyline too much. I just think I did think like it certain movies because I didn't even think about it too. That was a good let's say like example you brought up was the Dragon Ball Z one because you know it's like I love the cartoon, man. That's like one of the biggest things. But yeah, when they brought it to like theater, it fell flat. And I think the reason why when you brought that example up is I think they do so much in the animation. You know, like they're flying. You know, it's like, man, you can't capture that without special effects and stuff like that. I don't think that caught up to that type of animation yet. Like I said, X-Men, you know, they just have like some superpowers and stuff, but I think the special effects could capture those roles better. Where here it's just like too imaginable, where you could do it in cartoons and shit, but not in a movie. So the movie just looks kind of corny to a certain degree, you know, unless you're focusing heavy on the martial arts part. But I think, yeah, so that's where I think the storyline wasn't bad because I do like the animation. Like I said, I've seen it before, so I didn't even make the connection until I was like looking it up. But yeah, the movie just wasn't up to par, I say, with the storyline and the actual, I'll say, animation, kind of like you said with the Dragon Ball.
I thought the what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I thought the martial arts part and the special effects, I thought that was dope. But I was just disappointed because because of the build up in the beginning, him trying to like reunite with his sister. You know what I mean? How it shows how she was protecting him. When she put him in the closet and all that stuff or whatever. And then because throughout the movie, throughout the film, they kept showing flashbacks of him, talking to his sister.
Right.
Yeah, so I just okay.
Yeah, so it was all that build up. I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, I thought they would actually, kind of elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah. It was just a lot of flashback scenes.
But all right, we'll go ahead. We'll jump into what scenes or performances stuck out to you, and we'll start with you on first on that one, CLS.
What's it stuck out?
So either scenes or actress performances stuck out to you.
Like I said, the opening scene. I like the opening scene. I was kind of into it. Well, I was into it in the beginning. Because I guess it started in the ring. I guess he was in the locker room and he was preparing for the fight, and then he went in the ring, and then he ended up fighting. What was that dude? Was it Cassio?
Yeah, Cassis
or something like that. Yeah, he kind of jumps in the ring and like he never liked him. You know what I mean? He never liked what's the main character's name again?
Saya.
Oh yeah, Saya. Something. Yeah, he never liked him. You know what I mean? He always kind of had like, I don't know, like a riff with him for some reason. He was in the ring dancing and showing off and all that. So, and you know what? That's what I was gonna mention. The scene where he's training when Saya's training.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the girl's name was. The girl that was training him. At first I thought
Silver Knight.
Yeah.
Her name was started with an M. It was something like Minar or something like that.
Marin, the Eagle Knight.
Yeah, Marin. That's what it is.
Like Marin or something. Yeah, I thought maybe she was gonna reveal herself because notice she never took that mask off. I thought maybe that was his sister.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
I thought maybe that was his sister training him. You know what I mean? I was hoping it was too, but they never revealed her face. They never showed her face, not once.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, I thought maybe it could have been his sister. You know what I mean? They just, I don't know, man. And then, it's just what was that other scene?
but I'll come back to you if you think about it.
Yeah, let me think about it. Good, you go.
But all right, Manic, what scenes are actress performances stuck out?
There were a lot of scenes that stuck out to me personally. Just because they were also very choppy and like it was like every scene stuck out like from the beginning. You know, when he's like, "Hey, you gotta make a split-second decision. Let's go right now." And he's like saying it so casually, and then like they have to bust out into a sprint. It's just like, like what? He could have like sped up that whole process. I did like that initial scene when it first started, where he's like, "I got it, you guys." And it's the black dude with dreads. He jumps and then gets his ass whooped immediately.
He did.
Like that scene definitely stuck out. I'm like, oh, okay. They're really making a statement. Like these guys are different over here. I mean, my man didn't even get a punch in. He jumped up and then got like double, like got hit in the air and then got his back broken and just laid out.
Braids and all.
And then the scene cut back to him to show his face, and I thought he was gonna like open up his eyes and be like, "Now I'm about to like really show y'all." Like, no, he was still on the ground. They're just like, "Yo, he's asleep. He's clean, knocked out." Like these guys are tough. Yeah, so
his ass asleep.
That definitely was the first scene that stuck out. There was a lot of scenes.
It was
one thing I noticed when he was training with Marin. The dude's just like, he drops him off and is like, "Hey, right there up that mountain." And he's just like, "Are you serious? You can't get me any closer?" And he's like, "No, you have to like get there." And then the next scene is like, it just cuts and he's like halfway up the mountain, no rope. Like, so he knew to just like take the most difficult route up the mountain. Like he didn't think to like, he walked from so far and then decided to just straight scale it. Like he doesn't know what he's looking for. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have any instructions. He's just like, "I'm going for this. I'm gonna risk my life." Like, because they told me to go this way. Like, it made no sense. And then Marin, the whole time she's training him, and she like shows that she's definitely more skilled than him, even when he has his like powers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yet she didn't go at all to defend them and like help the goddess. Like, I think she would have been more help. Like she could have took on that one dude who was like beating him down. Like in reality, you know, the dude should have, you know, killed him right there on the spot after the explosion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The explosion. But it's just like, Marin's just chilling in the back in the cut, just like watching everybody get beat up and like, "Hey, I'm just gonna be chilling here. Like, if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. Like, this is where I'm like, why weren't they all on that island? Like, I would have built my house on that island since they can use their powers and it can't be detected like that. Like, where's the So there was just a lot of stuff going on that just like this makes no sense.
Can I add on to what you just said? Remember
Absolutely.
How they show like that overhead view, and you can see the dude kind of like pounding his face into the ground. Yeah. He was on the ground. He was on the ground just laying there getting his face pounded in. He was literally just pounding his face into the dirt. Exactly. Yeah, that nigga should have been dead.
But no, it speaks to how the movie was set up. It was just super duper choppy. So, like really for me personally, every scene stuck out because it was just like, it's like, what can I find wrong in this scene? Or what can I find wrong in this scenario? It's just like, it was actually like a comedy. That's why I actually rated it so high. Because initially it was going to be around like a 1 and 2, but I was like, yo, this is actually funny. So I got to give it credit. So I didn't see it as like a sci-fi scene. It was more like a comedy parody of like Power Rangers, as you guys mentioned, and like Street Fighter. Like it was a parody to me. So I actually enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend the movie again, and I would watch it again. But with like, I would watch it with either like a kid to see how they react to it. Like, are they picking up on like the inconsistencies? Or if I'm watching it with an adult, like I'm just cracking up. I'm rolling every single scene. I'm pausing it. Like, this is probably going to be a 3-hour movie because you're going to, if you watch it with me, I'm going to be pausing it and cracking up and like talking about like this shouldn't happen in this scene. So,
would any liquor be present when you watch this again?
Bro, this movie was so funny. This movie was so funny. I don't even think I would need liquor. I wouldn't need nothing. I could do this sober. This is hilarious. This movie brought me joy. I appreciate it.
You would need liquor if you didn't want the person you were watching with to leave.
Man, and did you notice how fast the rematch was once he had the armor on? Yeah, he roundhouse kicked this nigga like one time and the fight was over. It was but before he had the armor on, he was getting his ass pounded for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes straight.
But then as soon as he had the armor on, he was the shit. As soon as he had the armor on,
Yeah.
that fight was he roundhouse kicked his ass one time.
And did you notice when he was training with Merrim, like it had to be like at least 5 days that went past because they showed different sunrises. They showed him sunrise and meditation.
Yep.
5 different days passed. He came over there with no change of clothes.
Yep.
He wore the same red shirt the entire training. So like 5 days straight. And the shirt was crisp.
Yeah.
Like he's getting thrown on the ground, getting dirty, getting rocks thrown at him. Like that was I want to know the brand of that shirt because I definitely need that in my
Do you think like Clark Kent this much?
Exactly. Yeah, he had that fucking
But Clark Kent has a story. He's Superman. He came from a different planet.
But he can't beat up nobody when he's Clark Kent. He puts on his outfit, then he's the superhero.
And his glasses, and that's it.
It's a special suit though. Like I don't expect
it's the special suit that Saya had.
No, but
he had on a regular shirt. He got that shit from like Old Navy.
He had a maroon t-shirt on.
He did wear like a suit or something when he goes to work. Like he has like casuals.
That shit worked like.
He wears different suits. He doesn't fight in his suits though. Like so, his suit shouldn't get dirty.
I know, but when Saya was actually like fighting as the knight, he had on armor.
Oh yeah, that's fine. The armor got destroyed anyway when when the goddess did her thing. But I'm talking about when he was training with Merrin, he was wearing the same red T-shirt and it was crisp. After 5 days of hardcore training, rocks getting thrown at him, busting rocks with his hand.
Man, had no axe, body spray. He was just out there musty.
He looked fresh with the same T-shirt on.
Maybe she was a good host and had like a whole place going back to.
What was his power? What was it called? Cosmo or something?
Cosmo, his Cosmo.
Cosmos. And he had that Cosmo shit coursing through his veins. I'm saying that shit kept him fresh. Like deodorant.
Oh, and man, it keep him fresh. But that shirt, they should have at least had some like. He should have been wearing a different shirt each day.
Yeah.
Like I'd have been okay with him wearing like a karate outfit.
Dog. He was poor. You remember what he said? Remember they were eating breakfast at the table? That nigga was broke because he was like, remember how he was eating breakfast? And she was like, why are you eating like that? He said, well, I never know when I'm gonna get my next meal. Unlike you, rich girl. You sit up in this big ass house eating meals every fucking day. And I don't know when I'm gonna get my next meal. And remember, she gave that nigga a bag of lunch before he got on the plane.
Yeah,
she handed on the bag. It was like food in it, and then I guess the father was like, "Why'd you give him that?" He was like, "Well, he's probably gonna die anyway.
It'll be his last meal before he dies.
Last meal before he dies." Yeah,
that's so overly dramatic.
It was
those are the scenes.
It was.
Goddamn, I narrated the whole movie and shit. Let me get Casey.
But you forgot the
so
part.
Casey Fred, what scenes are actress performances stuck out to you?
You know what? Now that I think about it, that is how a lot of the animated movies are. It will just have you cracking up and just dying laughing. And so with the action, it did keep me entertained. I know I enjoyed the very beginning, the fight scenes and stuff, because you didn't know what this kid could do. And the phrase that they kept saying throughout the whole movie is "Stop dancing, stop dancing. When you gonna fight? When you gonna fight?" And then it seems like it wasn't really until he got his training that you really saw how he could. I mean, he was good at defense. It seemed like that's what the dancing was all about. But he could really all of a sudden strike a blow, and when he finally came into himself, the one scene where he's climbing up. I have to give that to you, man. He's climbing up the mountain, and when he gets up to the part and he's touching his shoe, and he looks up and sees her in that mask, and you could just tell he's ready to be like, "Oh no, I thought you was a man. I didn't know he was gonna be a girl like that." Yeah. And he's like, "Well, I thought you was gonna be a man too." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Okay, touche, touche." But then when all of a sudden he climbs all the way up there. She was like, "You know what? All right, we about to do this." And then she jumps off the mountain and disappeared right into the cloud. And he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh no, I can't. I just got up here. I ain't about to do that. I ain't about
Yeah.
to do that." And I thought that was so hilarious because I mean, you could tell his energy was spent, and here she is just flying it into the wind and stuff. And so that had me cracking up. And then another one was when it reminds me of what you were saying, CLS. He's at the table and he's over there eating really fast. And then
Yeah.
I was makes that comment to her, and you see
Mhm.
her gripping the table and start to get upset. And I thought she was going to turn in some, mean, evil black sister and about to go off on him or whatever. And her power is on some rising
Yeah,
and
she
stuff. Shade
started fucking.
starts coming down and the building starts shaking and stuff. I was like, oh man, I felt sorry for seeing. I
Yes.
was like, man, you need to get out. You need to get
Yeah.
out quick.
She started powering up like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
I
powering
thought
up and
for sure
shit.
she was going
Yeah,
to do
right.
like what was that? I'm gonna get you, sucker, where you turn around, you just started speaking in some demon-like voice or something like that. I just thought that was gonna happen, so it had me rolling on that. And then I think the other scene was just the simple fact, like you guys were saying, he kept having those flashbacks of his sister and stuff, and it was like I felt like he kept saying never, never, and I felt like that's what kept him going. Pretty much the whole way, like even when he was in his fights, even when he was in his training, even when all of a sudden he had to fight at the end, it was always that never that his sister taught him, never give up. And I thought that was pretty deep too. But those were several of the things that I liked and I kind of enjoyed. The one thing that did crack me up was the bald-headed guy, the protector, and he's like, "Okay, fellas, I really need to get to that plane right there."
Oh yeah, I like that scene. That was a good scene too.
Yeah.
Hit them special bullets.
Yeah.
The special bullets in that gun. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had me rolling on that. But
Mhm.
like Manny said, there's a bunch of things that just have you laughing and in stitches. I think honestly, I think we all kind of realized this was really not for us, but probably for like teenagers or
Yeah,
kids.
it wasn't for our age
children.
group. It wasn't
I
for our
think they
age
would
group.
really enjoy it a little
Nah,
bit.
they was trying
more.
to hit a blockbuster with all those people in there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was. I don't think it was for us, man. Not our age group.
No,
If we didn't
Shots. You always
like
try to call me out.
huh?
I said, y'all. I said, you guys always try to act like I'm throwing shots at somebody and listen to all this nonsense.
hey, amazing.
This is for like little kids and teenagers.
No, I don't think it was that because I mean, you look at the actor cast; they had some solid names. They was trying to like hit a home run. It just fell flat.
Yeah.
But all right, let me get amazing. What scenes or actors performances stuck out to you?
I liked the scenes you guys already had mentioned. I liked, but I guess the scene
The tides have turned.
I really liked Marin's outfit. I thought her outfit was very cool, so I like that. And then
you said Marin?
I like yes, the
Silver Knight.
Yeah,
so I did like her outfit too.
She was training. Yeah.
Yep. I liked the scene where I think like Saya didn't really understand what was going on, or the like the powers that Athena held. And so when he made her angry at the dinner table or whatever, and everything kind of started shaking, and I think it kind of shook him a little bit because that I just like that scene because I think it showed it gave him a little piece of what her powers actually works. I don't think he understood at first. And then I did like going back to a little bit of the storyline. I did like the relationship between Athena and the dad. Versus the mom, because I did think that was a little different. I felt like, normally it's like the mom and daughter or what have you, but I liked the way that it was kind of the mom, like the dad was really trying to protect his daughter from the mom. So I did like that. And then the other scene that I really liked was when the mom had her hooked up and was, I guess, like draining her. I don't know what that apparatus was, that she was killing her though, essentially. And then
juice.
Yep. And then decided to change her mind. And so when she was changing her mind and trying to save her, I thought that scene was good also.
But she didn't change her mind when she drained that other motherfucker that was on that table. Remember when she drained his ass? She fucking drained his ass, drained him like a fucking Slurpee or some shit. And just carried his body away.
So the Phoenix Knight, yeah, that guy.
She drained that motherfucker. She drained his ass.
It actually reminded me of a little bit. I'm trying to think of that recent, is somewhat recent, the Stephen King movie when the bad guys were taking out the, I forget what they called it, like the souls. It was like that group of people. Remember they're on the mountain. It was like the it was the sequel to The Shining, I think.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? And they would take like the souls to make them live. That's actually what it reminded me of.
Oh, that's dope.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
I need to watch
that. I can't think of the name. I do need to watch that.
I need to watch that too.
That was a really good movie. I like that movie.
It looked like it was going to be a good movie.
Yeah, it was Stephen King,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then how they linked it back to The Shining, it was a good one.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it reminded me a little bit of that. So, but yeah, those were the scenes that stuck out to me.
Did we forget the scene? What was the black dude with the braids?
Dr. Sleep.
No.
Yes,
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. I love that movie. That's good.
So the scenes that stuck out to me, I would say, was definitely that first scene because that's why I was engaged. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be on point. So I definitely got involved. I like that scene, how homeboy just hopped in the ring. He was like, all right, I'm about to hop in there. So I like that whole dynamic. Then the second scene was the one you guys mentioned when he was like trying to get to the plane. So I definitely like that scene. And I would just say like performances that stuck out. I think they actually had a solid acting cast, because like I said, they had Sonny Chiba's son, which I really like him in movies. Like I said, you had a homeboy from Game of Thrones. You had the other guy you was talking about, CLS. I keep forgetting his name. That was in like John Wick and Jean Grey and stuff. So, they had some solid actors. Like I said, I think that they rushed a lot of the performances too much, let it develop. So we'll go ahead. We'll jump into if you were the director or the producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently? So I'll start with Manic first on this one.
I'm going to keep this one short and just say everything.
Yeah.
You said everything. All right.
Yeah, from the beginning to end.
All right, Casey, Fred, what would you change or do differently with this movie?
You had the visions of the sister, but it would have been really cool if you could find out what really happened to her, like if she would have showed up at the end, or if all of a sudden the Silver Knight would have became the sister or something like that, and really kind of bring closure and bring everything back together. I mean, you don't know if she died or if she lived or what happened, but we do know that she didn't have powers, but it would have been cool if she would have had powers. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, it would have even been cool even if all of a sudden they changed her to the dark side, and then all of a sudden, he sees her, he was like, no, not you, type of thing or something like that. But they didn't do any of that. And like I said, the climax was just flat. I don't know where they were really going with it, but that would be something kind of cool that I would change to just kind of like give it some oomph to it, Some kind of,
you said like Jagged Edge, put a little oomph in it.
Yeah.
All right. CLS, if you were the director or producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently?
A lot of stuff. That's what I was going to ask you. The dude that got his ass whipped at the beginning of the movie, the black dude with the braids that got flipped.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that dude? I'm surprised none of y'all brought that scene up. You didn't see the scene where who was the dude that what's his name? Saya? Who was the dude that Saya was fighting on the roof at the end? Who was that dude he was fighting? That white dude?
He was like the Phoenix.
Nero, the Phoenix Knight.
Nero.
Nero. Remember when he was torturing the black dude? He had him handcuffed to a rock.
He brought up a bug.
Yeah, he was hard as shit. Before he walked up, he was hard as shit. He spit on the ground. He was trying to get information out of him, like he was going to torture him. And then he tested his forehead and made him hallucinate. And it was like what was it, like a centipede or something?
Yeah, it was just a centipede, just in the background. It didn't touch him. It didn't.
It didn't touch him.
It was an image.
God, it's a bug.
He started screaming like a bitch, yo. He said, "Oh, get it off, get it away." I said, "Why is he screaming like that? You was tough as a motherfucker a minute ago." I didn't like that. I didn't like that part, man. It didn't seem real to me. You know what I mean?
it was so corny, man.
It
Like
was
that
corny,
part was
wasn't it?
just like, but it made me laugh because I'm like, really? They're not even gonna make the bug like touch him. They're not gonna show that like,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
an image. Like,
Yeah.
imagine somebody pulling up a TV and just showing a picture of a giant bug. I'm like,
That's all it was, dude. That's all it was.
now you're
Like,
gonna talk. Like,
it was almost like he acted like he forgot that the dude was still standing in front of him. He was still standing there too, unless he I don't know, the illusion. He just made him see the bug and not him anymore. I don't know. That shit was dumb. But in that scene, that scene, what was that scene? Oh yeah, the scene at the end when he's like crawling towards her. You know what I mean? She's going. Matter of fact, you know what that scene reminded me of? The X-Men movie. I think it was the third. What was the Last Stand? Remember when Wolverine was getting close to Jean Grey when she turned into the Phoenix, and he was the only one to get close to her, and then she was making everything evaporate. But Wolverine was the only one to get close to her. That same shit. Remember his armor was burning off and all that shit. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
You remember the movie though, right? If you remember the
Nah,
X-Men
same scene.
movie,
Yeah, I remember.
it's the same
Yeah, it was
scene. It's the
good.
exact same scene. Same shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's the same thing, then what do you rate that scene?
You mean that movie?
No, that scene. When Jean
Oh.
Grey was like
The Jean Grey scene, or you mean this one?
Yeah. Jean Grey.
The Jean Grey
What do you
scene.
rate that scene?
I give
That
that
was a
movie
10.
That movie's a 10, bro.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
That movie's a
You
solid
just
10.
said it's the exact
But this
same
movie,
thing.
but this movie's copying that movie though. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
you got to give the originator the high score.
They copied the movie though. That was so Jean Grey and Wolverine. Yeah.
But Jean Grey was
He was
in
the only
movie.
he was the only one that could stop the Phoenix. Just like he was trying to stop her and bring her back with love, I guess. Because he was like, she's not the same person anymore. She's a goddess of war now. He's like, no, I guess he was falling in love with her.
You're being unfair. You're being unfair.
She's still upset about that high score she gave this movie.
He was crawling.
She's the outlier.
Yo, that nigga was crawling for love, man. He was crawling for love. He fell in love with her, man. He was like, I remember dude on the plane was just like, don't fall in love with her. She can't date. He said, how many dads did she have? You know what I mean? Like 2 dads.
Yeah.
He's like, how many fathers did she have?
But all right, amazing. Let me get you. If you were the director or the producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently?
I like CLS's idea of Marin being his sister. I think I would make that happen. I like
That would be dope. That would have been dope.
Okay.
Man, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, this fucking movie was 1 hour and 52 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, around that.
And then when it went off, I'm saying they're sitting there talking on the rock, talking to, now all we have to do now is find Patricia. And then the movie goes off, right?
Yeah.
The fucking and the same thing that Fred said, I was thinking about it too. I said, okay, let me skip forward. Maybe there's a post-credit scene. I was no
Yeah, I
fucking
did the
post-credit
same
scene.
exact thing.
I was
I did the same thing. I
looking,
did.
yo, dude, I was looking for that post-credit scene, bro. I swear I was looking for it. And I started skimming through it. Yo, it was a little over 10 minutes of credits. So that was the last 10 minutes. It was over 10 minutes, bro.
They got us.
Yeah. Hour and 52 minutes, my ass. The fucking credits was like damn near 12 minutes.
But like if I was the director or the producer, what I would change, one of the biggest things I hated that they had like 2 villains. Well, actually like 3, because if you count Filmka, whatever, Vander, her character, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was her. Then you had the guy in the beginning.
And the dude
I think they should have just left him as the villain. And like, if they was gonna come with a sequel, like don't make the one that Nero change into like the second movie. Because I think they just crammed too many villains. They didn't let it develop and let them fight. Because like y'all was mentioning on the one scene, he was like he got beat up by the one guy, and then it's just like then the other villain came, and then it's just like she converted. So it was just way too much. Where I think they should have took out one of the villains and found some way to like maybe if he was like killing the one guy, he was like, hey, I did see your sister, she's still alive or something. You know, you didn't have to bring her into the movie, but like give a hint like she's still alive or something like that, like Casey Fred was saying. So I think they could have spaced it out a little bit where they didn't have to like cram so much like villains in there. There could have been more fight scenes, more training, like actual training and stuff like that, where they developed, he got more time to harness his powers and stuff. So it was just like they were like, damn it, just get some good actors, throw some a couple fight scenes, and then get some more villains. That'll work out. Where I think they should have probably took out the villain in there and just let them kind of go back and forth a little bit. So yeah, that would have been my change.
That nigga just walked away mad at the end when he was standing on top of that mountain. The white dude rubbing his medallion or a pendant, was his little pendant thing or whatever in his hand.
He had
hand.
something else. He had the gold armor.
The gold armor.
That wasn't even his pendant.
Yeah.
I think he lost his pendant when the goddess Athena destroyed it.
Oh yeah, when he tried to punch her and then she blew his ass back. That seemed blew his armor off.
She blew him back to
blew his clothes off.
Yeah, she straight burned it off like at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
But all right, so now that you guys heard everybody's perspective, would you change your score or keep it the same? Let me go to the rated slide. So I'll start with you, Manic.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna drop it to a 4.5 instead of a 5.5, just because it really was a terrible movie. Like with everything, it's just straight terrible. But I mean, I enjoyed it because it did make me laugh because the scenes were so choppy and like like what, like that. It made me appreciate like every other movie I've ever watched in my life. So for that reason, I gotta, I can't put it at a terrible. I gotta bump it up to a decent. So a 4.5.
Okay. Casey, Fred, would you drop? Or are you gonna stay the same with your rating?
I'm actually gonna stay the same.
Okay, then.
I'm gonna stay the same because what I'm realizing, just from what we've all have heard, this movie just wasn't for us. Like I said, this is definitely, middle schoolers, 6, 7, 8, because I mean, I remember watching He-Man and I remember watching Justice League. I remember watching all kinds of movies of that nature. And being that we know that this was an animated movie and it came from Japan, I do respect them because they put out a lot of good work. And I enjoyed how the Americans reason why there was a big cast because the animation was so big. And like I said, I think if we would have saw this in animation, this would have been way higher. But the simple fact that it's not for our generation, it's kind of hard to really, put down their stuff when, we saw some movies coming up that we were like, oh, that's the bomb. And our parents was like, man, that is straight trash. But I mean, we enjoyed our generation. And I feel like that's the way it is now. Like these kids, I think they would probably enjoy this movie. And so, like I said, me, I wouldn't pay or give a quarter for it. But hey, it was free. It was on Netflix. And I was happy to watch it. And then would I watch it with some more people, as long as it's free and I got my snacks, cool, I'm down with it. So that's what I would do. So I would tell everybody to go ahead and watch it, man. I mean, I thought it was a decent, good movie. And, like I said, it just wasn't for our generation. And that's the big thing right there. So.
All right, amazing. Would you keep your score the same? Or
I'll keep my technical score the same, but I'll give it an honorary 8 to make up for your guys' hate.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. They need to put you on a payroll for this one. Shoot.
Sure.
But all right, CLS, you gonna stay the same? You going up or going down?
It's still a 5. It's always gonna be a 5. Always gonna be a 5 forever.
And I'll go up a little bit. I'm gonna go up to like a 1.9. So I'm still in the trash territory because I did. The humor was like there, so I definitely agree with Manic on that. But this was definitely trash to me. And the reason why, man, because like I said, you got, what's his name, Sonny Chiba's son. I don't want to butcher his first name, so I'm not even gonna attempt. But man, great, like martial artist and actor. And I mean, you just had a great cast of like. So I just think they missed that opportunity and some better fighting scenes. And it's like, man, you didn't have to wedge in like all those villains. It's like, man, you should have let the first guy rock out, let them get some better fight. Because he just got demolished the first one. So it's just, you didn't even have to go that route. You could have done it a little better. So yeah, I think they just like rushed it. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and seal us.
No, I was just gonna add on to what you were saying. I was expecting you know, like a real fight scene between him and
that's what I want.
between him and Cassis. You know what I mean?
Especially after that, how they introduced it,
especially
man.
with the armor too. Like,
Why let them fight for like 5 or 10 minutes or something? You know what I mean? That would have been more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like when
let them unlock like something else that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Like
not one roundhouse kick.
Yeah.
He's got one roundhouse kick in the air. That was it.
When he first unlocked the armor and he had like the half shoulder joint, and it was like it was looking like Icarus.
He was. He was a kid Icarus.
Yeah, looking like Kid Icarus. I think he should have powered up like that, and then he should have been fighting even more, and then all of a sudden he's losing a little bit, and then he just powers up even more, and then boom, he hits this next level. Then he could have hit him with the kick, and you're like, oh snap, he's level 2 powered up. Like what? Yeah. Like there's levels to this. Like that would have been tight.
That would have been dope.
Manic. That's why I think Dragon Ball Z. That's what it reminds me of when you You know what? When he said, hey, when Casso said that I would go ahead and kill this guy for free, I thought about that first scene at the very beginning when all of a sudden he goes up, he does a flip and kicks the cigar right out of his mouth. And Cass was like, oh, I know he just do that. That's kind of disrespect to me. And then next thing you know, he jumps right into the ring and kicks the dude that he's supposed to be fighting totally out. And he was like, no, you don't just take the, cigar out my mouth and think it's going to be all good. No. And I thought about it because it's just, to me, that reminds me of how many times people at the club and you step on a black man's shoes, it's not going to be good. Or spill a drink on a black man, that's not going to be good. We paid all that money for our suits or our clothes. Nah. Step on our
but see,
shoes.
that's what irritated me about this movie, man, because that first scene was tough, man. And it's just like, man, maybe they should have let them like get the build up, they fight, and maybe they convert that guy over, or and then they could have introduced the other villain. But yeah, man, I just think they just rushed it, man. And I think they had some good opportunities for some fight scenes.
Yeah.
But all right, man, we go ahead and start closing this one out. Unless y'all wanted to CLS, I know you was talking about circling back to that last movie we did, the Pain Hustlers and stuff. Do you have something you want to bring up about that one?
Oh, well, not even really fresh on my mind no more. Oh, you mean about what I was telling you?
Yeah, no. I know you kind of wanted to circle back to that what we were saying, but we don't have to, man. We straight.
I can't remember the whole thing. It was just only what I was telling you before about. There was only just a couple of scenes that kind of triggered like some stuff from my childhood. Because like I used to have seizures when I was a kid too. The scene when the daughter has a seizure at the she was playing with that kid at that
at the
pharmacy. It was like a clinic, right? Yeah. But I grew out of it though. I didn't have it like that though. It was like I think I was like 11, 12 years old, and I was on taking meds for it, and then I just grew out of it. You know what I mean?
So you were saying like it was pretty relatable, the movie. What would you rate that one?
That one, higher than a 5. Maybe like a 7 or 8, maybe.
Okay.
Like that movie I would watch over. I mean, I'd watch again because it's based on like true events. I like movies like that. I like movies that are based on like actual events.
Yeah, I did like that one.
It was good. I like that movie. And then the shit with remember telling you about the whole Cutco knives thing? Remember he was looking at her, reading her resume, and he was like, "Oh, so you worked in sales? You were selling Cutco knives, expensive steak knives, huh?" Like it's not just steak knives. We did that one summer. Maybe my friends did that one summer. I think I was like, I don't know, damn, I was like maybe 19, maybe when we did that shit. That shit lasted like, I don't know, maybe like a month.
Did you make any sales?
Didn't even do it 2 months. Man, I think I sold like 2 knives. Man, black people can't afford expensive ass knives, bro. Black people cannot. And that's what it was. We flooded the market because there was too many people in my neighborhood. We were hitting the same houses, they're trying to sell them expensive ass knives. Black people, they ain't trying to spend, $100 for one steak knife.
It's so
they were
funny.
nice though, huh?
Our son was gonna try to sell those. I forget how he got roped into it, and he showed me pictures. And I was like, he was like, "Will you buy one?" I'm like, "There's no way I'm spending that much money on a knife." And he was like, "Come on," but he's like, "You can afford it." I'm like,
"You
I'm
can."
still buying my knife at Walmart. I'm buying that knife.
I mean, they were nice though. The quality of the knives, like the handle was like wood. It looked like it was handcrafted. They were nice. They were.
Man, they ain't gonna give you no commission.
Yeah,
no,
you should have hit me up. I would have bought it. I always buy dumb shit.
No, but see what they did was, remember I was going to tell you what they did was they I think it was salary versus commission or something like that. Like if you was one of them people that just couldn't sell shit, they would still pay you like a very low wage. I can't remember how much it was, but it was like as long as you when you went to each potential buyer, you would do the demonstration. But you had to do the demonstration and you had to get them to sign this form and put their phone number and all that, because they would call these people up to make sure you did the demo. The demo is when you pull out, you open a little case or whatever and pull the knives out, and you let them cut the rope. They would have a piece of rope in there that they would have to cut to show them how good the blades are. You have to do that with each person.
Yeah,
and people would lie and say they did it or whatever, just so they can get a small little check. Yeah,
I hit up every family member, get their phone numbers. I cut all the ropes and have them all organized.
They got to cut it.
Have
they
names
have
and signatures. Nah.
They would have to cut the rope.
The point.
Yeah.
I have all the ropes cut. And be like, hey,
it's like this shit. Like a
30 houses today.
Yeah, but even your family, like when someone's gonna do eyes, like reach out to people, you'll see. And when Granny shot him down, I was like, if your granny ain't buying from you, ain't nobody else gonna buy from you either.
Yeah.
That's a no-go.
Yeah, we were better off selling crack, man. It was hard to sell the knives. We were sold more crack. The knives, shit, that was expensive.
No, that's funny. But all right, we'll go ahead and close it out. I just wanted to give you to circle back on that because I remember you was telling the Cell story and stuff, so that was hilarious. But all right, man, we'll go ahead. This movie, I take it wasn't that great, but check it out. Let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree, we missed something, or you want to get at me for butchering names. That's free too. And if you want to complain about Amy Amazing being like hostile to us on the panel, please feel free to let her know about that. But all right, we out of here. Peace.